Hi everyone, hope you're all keeping well and you've had as good a Christmas as can be expected under the current circumstances. Let's get ready to begin then. So today we're going to be looking at potential difference. So learning intention to explore potential difference and success criteria. I can define potential difference and I can perform calculations involving potential difference, charge and energy. So let's start off with a little bit of revision. Let's give ourselves a circuit here, and those of you that remember the National 5 lesson on current will remember Mr. Electron. So Mr. Electron here comes from the battery pushes him out and he will travel around the circuit, back to the battery, and he enters back in through the positive terminal of the battery and he'll come back out through the other side. All nice and simple. That is what we call current. It's that flow of electrons around the circuit. Now, if we look at voltage or potential difference, give ourselves the same circuit again, and we'll bring back Mr. Electron. Now, let's zoom in and have a closer look at Mr. Electron. Now, you'll hopefully remember that Mr. Electron carries a bucket around with him, and that bucket contains energy. So Mr. Electron leaves the battery here in this case, or whatever power supply we're using, with a bucket full of energy, and by the time he's made his way around he has got to have given up all that energy. So let's give ourselves an energy bar. This is the amount of energy that Mr. Electron has in his bucket, and by the time we get back to the battery, the positive terminal of the battery, we're going to have used all of this energy. So Mr. Electron travels round the circuit and it loses some energy in each of our resistors, and by the time he's got back you'll notice that all the energy had been used up. And this is essentially what voltage is, or what potential difference is. It's that energy that each charge is carrying around the circuit. And the reason we call it potential difference is we're looking at the difference in that potential on either side of each component. So it's the difference between the potential here and here, or the difference between the potential here and here. So what is potential difference? Well, potential difference is just the amount of energy transported by each charge in a circuit. It's as simple as that. Potential difference, hopefully you'll remember this one, it is measured in volts. We use a capital V as our symbol for volts. Our equation, we need an equation if we want to be able to do calculations. Here's our equation here. Our equation E equals QV. Now, these symbols all have their standard meanings. You should hopefully have came across them before at National 5 level, but for those of you that haven't done National 5, E here is energy, and we measure energy in joules. Q is charge, we measure charge in coulombs, and V obviously is our potential difference, we've just discussed that, and that is measured in volts. So let's have a quick look at a worked example. A circuit is measured to have 0.32 coulombs flowing each second. If the total energy dissipated in the circuit is 1.9 joules every second, calculate the potential difference of the supply. So this is the whole circuit. So basically what we're looking to do here is we're looking to calculate the potential difference between one side of the supply and the other. Okay, so first thing we do, as always, hopefully you will be way ahead of me, we're going to write down our shopping list, what we know, what we don't know. So in this case, if I go back through here, I can see that Q, this is the charge, which is measured in coulombs, is 0.32. I can see that there's a time, so it says each second, so I've got a time included here. I keep reading on, I find 1.9 joules, 1.9 joules, joules are energy, so E is equal to 1.9, and then it asks us to calculate potential difference of the supply, so I just have V is equal to this question mark here, that's what I'm looking to calculate. Now remember, by writing down your shopping list, you can then go away, you can look at your list of equations, and you can pick out the right one. Now we have 4 quantities here, we only need 3 of these. If you go away and look at your list of equations, you'll see that if you want to calculate V and you've got these 3 quantities here, all you need are Q and E, and you'll pick out your right equation. Which then leads us to our next step. Of course, for our first mark, we're going to write down our equation. So E is equal to QV. Brilliant. Pat yourselves on the back, give yourselves a mark. Second mark will come from substituting in our numbers. So 1.9 is equal to 0.32 times V. Brilliant, you've got your second mark. Now we need to do a little bit of rearrangement here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take 0.32 over to the other side, and because it's coming over to the other side, it needs to become a divide. It's the opposite sign, remember. So when I bring it over here, it becomes 1.9 divided by 0.32. I'm just going to reshuffle that a little bit. So I've got my V on the right hand side. I'll end up with V equals 1.9 divided by 0.32. And of course, I then write down my final answer with units. V is equal to 5.9 volts. So that's my potential difference of 5.9 volts. Now let's just have a little look at where we're getting our marks. Once again, 1 mark for the correct equation, 1 mark for the substitution, and 1 mark for the correct answer with the units. Remember, I always recommend that you write down your equation and then you write down you put in the substitution, you do your substitution before you do any rearrangement here, because that guarantees you're going to get 2 marks. If you then make a mistake at this point here, at this stage, and you get this rearrangement wrong and you come out with the wrong answer, you're still going to get 2 out of 3 marks. Remember, that's 67% for this question. Okay, so it's as simple as that. So I'm going to get you to do some practice now. I shall put a link in the comments below to these questions. A few brief questions I've written myself. There's only 5 of them. I've also got some answers which I will put a link to below as well. Have a go at the questions, ask for help if you need them, and check your answers as you're going. Make sure you're obviously getting it right, okay? Any problems, let me know. Otherwise, just go back. Once you've finished, have a look at your success criteria again. Can you remember that definition for potential difference? Have you been able to solve these calculations and come out with the right answers? If you have, give yourselves a pat on the back. If you've not, go back through, have a look at the video again. Just make sure you can tidy up any bits that you've missed that you're not sure on. And if you really can't figure out where you're going wrong, send me a message and I will get back to you as quick as I can. Okay? In the meantime, keep yourselves well, keep yourselves safe, make sure you're being sensible, and hopefully we'll see each other soon.